All right, well, good morning. Today is one of those days where a little bit of in a hurry today, so I'll be moving a little quickly. But first thing, to get real healthy, in my personal opinion, remember, I'm not giving you medical advice. First thing, and I'm not making any medical claims. And with that being said, first thing is you want to have super clean water, guys. That is just something that's super important. And no water filter can filter out everything except for carbon distiller. That's why I do it. I'm literally filling it up with reverse osmosis water right there. So let's go ahead and get that rolling. And while that is filling up, this is the water I already made. And I'm going to harvest it, which sounds kind of weird, harvesting water. But the truth is, it looks like I'm already filled up on water. I like to try to keep everything pretty full, but we'll just top it off here. I like running the carbon distiller in the morning because it does get hot. So during the summertime, it's inconvenient. Sometimes you can move the distiller to the garage or something. I tend to run it at night so it doesn't bother anybody. But in a cold morning like this, or during the winter, it's actually really nice because it gets nice and hot. Nice and toasty. It's toasty. Okay, so that's my morning routine. Let's see here. Should be almost full by now. And while that is doing that today, because I'm in a little bit of a hurry, I'm not going to do the vacuum blender today, which I really like to do, but the reason that the vacuum blender is so much better and so much healthier, but when the problem is that it takes longer. And well, do I have the time? Let's see here. It's 9. No, I guess that's a tough call. I'm like right on the edge here as far as timing here. Can we do the vacuum blender? I'm going to, I don't know. How about you guys? I'll leave it up to you guys. Do you guys want me to do the vacuum blender today or no vacuum blender? Do you care? One is bigger, one is faster. You know what? I'll tell you what. I am going to go ahead and I guess I will just choose. I'm going to make a bigger smoothie today too. That's the only downside about the vacuum blender. And see, I'll show you what you got to do. You got to just change this top whenever you're going to use a different system, which is great. It really works out pretty good. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go with the simple Vitamix one today because it's bigger and faster today. So we're going to go with that. Okay, so let's just show you how to get, this technique works so good for so many things. It works good for losing weight. It works really good for getting all your nutrients. I got to say, I really feel like I'm not trying to toot my own horn here. I really feel like I came up with something that works so good for nutrients, it's unbelievable. And I still don't feel like people talk about it enough, especially doctors. They should know better. There was only one doctor, now that I think about it. It wasn't even my doctor, it was somebody I knew. And they were telling me how surprised they were because it was actually somebody who knows me quite well. And they were like, I talk about deficiencies a lot because they just keep discovering stuff. In fact, I was going to do a video. There appears to be some new information in regards to like schizophrenia, basically a lot of like mental disorders. And they discovered that 80% to maybe over 80%, and don't quote me on that, I'm going to do a video on that in more detail, that a lot of those people, meaning a huge percentage of them, over 80% of them, are actually deficient in specific B vitamins. So they found that deficiencies are even affecting such things like that. And that's why I believe very strongly in something that I literally hear almost nobody talk about, that we have to, that because there's science to support it. That's why it surprised me that people don't talk about it, because we already have the data. And yet, like I said, nobody talks about it. It's really weird. That basically deficiencies not only lead to disease, by the way, because you don't want to be deficient, but now even things like mental disorders, like schizophrenia, that's crazy, guys. I've known people who are on antipsychotics and all this type of medications that maybe just could just be B vitamins. So let's go with, I'm going to put some flax seeds in here. Flax seeds are super, I mean, yes, they have great omegas. These are good oils. I like these type of oils. I don't like processed oils. Those are not good. And I can just tell my body, I don't know, I don't know if it's just because I'm sensitive or is it just because of what I went through. I really don't know. All I can tell you is that my body speaks to me very clearly, and it does not like heated oils. And even though I know a lot of people can tolerate them just fine, not me. I do not tolerate them well. But natural oils, like from walnuts and flax seeds and stuff like that, of course I process them just fine, no problem. And so these type of deficiencies are they're very difficult to overcome. And the reason that they're really hard to overcome is because food just isn't what it used to be. Oh boy, flies right there. The food is just not what it used to be. And I believe that we can get back there, but it's gonna be a while. It's gonna be a while till we figure out. I mean, I personally think I've kind of discovered a secret on how to basically grow food that I believe the world hasn't seen for, it's been thousands of years. But a way that we can grow food that would be super highly nutritious, where you probably wouldn't even need to eat that much. These days, you can fill up on all sorts of food, and it won't satisfy you. So anyway, I'm showing you this trick because, well, somehow I still don't know how I came up with it. But somehow I came up with it, and I gotta tell you, it works so good. And it's completely designed. It was really designed mostly to, what did I originally design it to do? Because I don't know what was my original intention, but I'll tell you what it ended up doing is it ended up being extremely good for overcoming nutritional deficiencies. And again, that's not a medical claim and, or giving you guys advice or anything. I can just tell you that I created this and I've been getting my own blood work for years now. And I had a friend who throughout the years, his quote unquote blood work is actually getting worse with his methods. It's been getting worse for years. It's not getting better. And I try to point out to people, it's like, look, you need to if you believe in the way you do things, you just have to be honest with yourself. It's nothing about trying to prove it to anybody else. Because I know that some people are like really married to their ideas. And because they're so married to their ideas, even if something doesn't look right, like their blood work, they just continue to go with it. You have to be open to change. And I just wanted to do what was the absolute best for my health because I just didn't want to suffer anymore. And I want to be in really, really the best health that I can be, within reason as far as what we have to do, what we actually have to spend. And this has got to be, oh, thanks for the thumbs up. Oh, somebody gave me a thumbs up. This is something that I think is definitely affordable. I mean, I know that times are tough, but for me, health is just something that it's hard to put a price tag on it, really. You can't be like, well, I don't want to buy vegetables and fruits. And some of them are kind of a little more spendy. But I find that if I don't buy other things, I keep eliminating things that I buy. There's things that just little things that I'd buy throughout the years. And I find that I've really eliminated a lot of things that I buy. And, in the end, it hasn't really cost me that much. The most expensive thing probably is, it's got to be the Purium powder, and the Purium powder is it crazy expensive? No. But is it kind of expensive? Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I do have good discount codes for you guys, but you know what? If I don't buy all these other vitamins, I know somebody who buys so many supplements. I had to tell him, I said, dude, I think you might be addicted to it. Like you don't need all these supplements. And you know what's funny is he hasn't been doing good. And then he finally told me the other day, one of my friends, he's like, you know what? I think I just need to stop buying all these supplements. And I was like, yeah, because I'm not even a huge fan of supplements. There's too many, I find too many impurities and too many of these pills. I mean, I'm not a huge fan. Let's just put it that way. I'm not going to obviously name names of any products or anything like that. I'm just saying that I'm not a huge fan of taking tons of pills because I think that's a sneaky little trick personally in the whole health industry. I feel like they just pick on one thing and all of a sudden they want to sell you copper pills, and then they pick one thing, and then they're like zinc pills, and then they pick another thing, and then you have a whole cupboard full of pills. That's why you want like a whole kind of multivitamin, if you want to call it that. And the problem is the body responds best to food. So if it responds best to food, then is a multivitamin enough? Now, for some people, I would say, look, just take your multivitamin because some people are just not going to, they're not really going to do what they need to do. And for people like that, I'm like, hey, that's your second or third best choice. There are some vitamins that are supposedly food-based multivitamins, and but if that's what you can do, then you really should, in my personal opinion. But this is a way to lose weight, get enough fiber, get enough phytonutrients, get enough, my goodness, protein. People always obsess about protein, where that's like the easiest thing. Protein is like, that's the easy one. That's not the difficult one. The difficult thing is to get all your nutrients, like really, really well balanced, all your nutrients. I could show you the bag of Purium and what's in there, and it's unbelievable. It's all food, but what's unbelievable about it is that it's all food, but when you look at the nutritional content, like it has all the different minerals, nutrients. It's really, really, I mean, it's what makes my smoothie, like if I didn't put that powder in there, this smoothie is not what I want it to be, you know. So I used to use a different powder, but I like the Purium a lot because I was surprised when I was first told about it. I was like, yeah, I already have something that I use that I like, and there's always people trying to talk me into using new stuff. And if I get something that works, then I like to stick with it. But the reason I really ended up going for this one was, yeah, of course, I was open-minded, tried it. I mean, just the smell of it, the look of it, it's like feels really fresh. And it really does feel like a premium quality, which is probably why it's a little more expensive. And it really is that good. And I've been, I'm actually really surprised how much I really like that. I really like those the products from that company. Everything's feels very pure and very clean. I just wonder where in the heck are they sourcing these ingredients, because some of their tests as far as how much pesticides is in their stuff, which I appreciate that they do those tests, because I've seen other organic products and they still have, sometimes, most of the time, pesticides still in them, but not a lot. So the level is a lot lower as compared to just normal stuff. I mean, which is just off the charts, unbelievable, like just crazy. Like you really shouldn't even be. I don't know how the human body can put that in and continue to function. And of course, I guess it doesn't, right? People have all sorts of problems. And it's funny. I was literally talking to somebody recently about just health. I feel like health has been completely overcomplicated. It's funny. I don't know why people overcomplicate things in life. And I've always been the opposite of that. I don't like to overcomplicate things. I like to keep things very simple. And I love the simple ingredients that Mother Nature, quote unquote, gave to us. And the simpler I keep things, the better. And so this smoothie, I'm just putting simple ingredients, like I'm putting ginger. A lot of these ingredients, interestingly enough, I'm a huge, I don't know if I should share this, but maybe I will. I'm a huge anti-parasitic guy. I'm really into keeping the body as clean as I can. And here's some raisins, sun-dried raisins soaked in hydrogen water, natural boron. Let's put those in there. It's the main reason I put them in there, even though they're very sweet, and I'm sure that brings a little nice flavor to it. And cooking show. I always feel like I'm doing a cooking show when I'm doing this. Here's my walnuts, highly anti-cancerous. Good oils and fats. Good protein, nice and creamy. Good flavor to the smoothie. And yeah, where was I? I was saying something about, I was talking to somebody about, oh yeah, just how simple, I like simple ingredients. If you notice the stuff that I'm using, nothing's really a processed food. The only thing would be probably the purine powder, but like I said, I like them because they're using food. And I like that that's the ingredients they're using. And it's just a simple powder. Like I said, I'm not a huge fan of pills because they usually add things to make them into a pill. And just impurities. And I just keep, I find that I'm doing more and more simple ingredients in my life, and which is just food. So anyway, guys, if you guys have questions while I'm doing this, you can ask. Oh, Purium grows their own. Oh, really? Well, look at that. Thanks for sharing. No wonder their stuff is so. I mean, really, it's really impressive. It really, really is. And I didn't believe it until, I'm gonna have to verify that because if that is true, that is so cool. And that's amazing that they're doing that. It's really a company that I've been, you know, um, growing to be more and more fond of. It's it's been really interesting trying their products. The way that they smell, the way they feel, like the other one that I've really liked, and I haven't tried all their products. Now I'm putting blueberries, obviously, good for the vascular system, and of course berries in general. I don't know if people eat enough berries. I certainly. This is the only berries I usually get for my whole day. Is mostly these blueberries because I know they're really good for you. There's a lot of good scientific data showing that berries are really good for you. Food is what just is really just magical for us. We just have to find a way to get it in us. And that, my friends, is why I make this smoothie. Because there's no way that I could eat all this food if I could just sit down and try to eat all this food. And what's funny about the smoothie is that, whoops, the smoothie is, it's got every single food that I eat. It has fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, and then we're about to put beans in it. Look at this. This is the most magical bean of all the beans on planet Earth, as far as probably science knows, or even I know. This is a fermented bean, and it's called natto. And natto has all sorts of amazing properties. This is Japanese. The Japanese are really, a lot of people I guess don't know, they're really into their health, and they have lots of different superfoods, but natto just takes the cake. We're talking, I wonder if they make natto cake. I doubt it. Maybe. They do a lot of interesting things in Japan with beans, actually. I don't think they're known for their beans, but they do a lot of things with beans. And obviously, they have, I believe, the longest life expectancy of any industrialized nation in the world. And here we go. Activate the natto. You got to stir it literally at least 100 times. So we're going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to stir this thing 100 times or more. And it activates it. It begins, the good bacteria begins to oxygenate and breathe and come to life. And natto has, the other thing you're going to notice about this smoothie is you're seeing a lot of fiber. I never realized until I started reading specific data that I believe has been actually suppressed, because it's pretty old data, meaning that we've known about it for a long time. We've known that the human body requires a massive amount of fiber. It's unbelievable how much we're apparently we need. The amount of fiber we need is so high that even the people doing the research just were like, you know what, we can't tell people that they need this much fiber. Nobody's going to be able to achieve it. So they took the absolute minimum number that the body really just needs, and I think it's somewhere in the neighborhood of like 30 grams or something. They might say 28 or something like that, but I think it's a range. But that's the absolute minimum. And that's what we're told is what we need on a daily basis, is the absolute minimum. You want to guess how many people in the United States actually achieve the absolute minimum amount of fiber that is required by the body? Less than 3% of Americans. That is nutty, straight up bonkers. Now, I never knew that. Nobody ever told me that. I never learned that in college, never learned it in high school, never learned it at any time, never heard it from a doctor, and I have tons of doctor friends. Never heard this from anybody until I started reading data on my own. And the reason that it's so interesting is because, again, that's the minimum. And I started to consume way more fiber. Obviously, I didn't try to do it on purpose. I was just starting to eat certain foods and realized that by doing a healthy diet, I actually ended up consuming way more fiber. I'll tell you one thing. Have there been changes? Yeah. Like, without a shadow of a doubt, changes. Like, huge changes. Fiber has been so good to me. I absolutely love it. It's not just fiber. There's something, when you have the fiber in you, it helps with, the Japanese discovered already certain effects from the fiber from vegetables. That was one of the things that inspired the smoothie, now that I'm remembering. It was a, oh my gosh, I got these huge bananas too. Let's see here. Where are they? There was a study in Japan. Oh my goodness, look at the size of these things. I'm gonna have to use one of the smaller ones because I might put two in today because these are starting to go bad, as you can see. And it was inspired. Ooh, is this thing? Wow. Hope this banana is tasty. It looks perfect. Okay, I got it off. There's a shelf where they have like overripe food or something, and you get a discount. But sometimes it doesn't really taste that good. But this one looks so good. Okay, let's put some hydrogen water in here, shall we? Hydrogen water so that the fruits and vegetables will literally soak up the hydrogen. That sounds like a bunch of nonsense, but actually, I found research on that too, and I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? I got a hydrogen generator. I'll go ahead and put that hydrogen water in here and let it soak into all the fruits and vegetables while I make more smoothie. Now let's get into the beets. But yeah, they discovered that if you would eat vegetables first thing in the morning. So I remember thinking like, who in the world is going to sit down and eat vegetables first thing in the morning? That's what I remember thinking. Now, granted, if you created a protocol where, or like a habit, you're like, okay, this is my habit. I can eat, who knows, vegetables in the morning. It apparently would help regulate blood glucose all day long, which is clearly important. Let's see here. So let's see here. So I was thinking, okay, how in the world am I going to get vegetables in me in the morning? So I remember one of the things that inspired the smoothie. I was like, you know what? If I just throw vegetables in a smoothie, I might be able to get away with it. That's how I started this whole thing. I was like thinking, okay, if I can just get vegetables. I was already drinking super clean water, doing the hydrogen, and that was already amazing in of itself. And I had done some juicing. I hadn't done a lot of smoothies, but I didn't realize, obviously in time, that the fiber was so important. Why in the world would you throw it away by juicing? Way too important, way too many properties within the fiber that are way more important than I had realized or anticipated. So I thought, okay, I'm going to try to make these smoothies. And I didn't think they would taste that good. I was like, they're probably not going to taste good, but I'll just drink it and try to be a good boy, and whatnot. And what ended up happening, I found a way to make them taste delicious. And people started thinking there's no way that it tastes delicious. And I actually shared it with some kids, when like family or friends would bring their kids over, and the kids loved it and even started asking for it when they would go home. The parents would tell me later, they're like, my kid's asking for this smoothie. I'm like, really? And I haven't had one person try it yet. And I'm not kidding. If I had one person, I'd tell you, I'd be like, oh, one person didn't like it or two people, but nope. every single person that I've ever made a smoothie for has said that they like it. They're like, wow, they're also surprised. They're like, I just can't believe that something like this would taste the way that it does. Okay, so let's keep moving on here. And let's see. Allegedly heard that from certified health nut, Purium superfood powder feels very alive. It does. You can feel your body absorb it. Oh, yes, absolutely. I've really had, like I said, I've truly become a fan, which is obviously why I now share it, because I never shared stuff like that on my video. Like I said, I used to do a different powder. And the other one I used to do, I mean, it was good. I did the blood work, and my blood work was good. But since I started doing the Purium one for a while now, my blood work actually looked even better. That's when I got the because my blood work is mostly just checking, mostly for nutritional deficiencies. But of course they look at like red cells, white cells, you know, and whatnot. But I will say that since I've been doing the Purium, I did notice a difference, and that was I actually had a doctor call me, and I thought that was really weird because I know when they call you. I mean, I know because a lot of people don't know. I did work in the medical field for like, geez, 2 decades or more. And I know that they only call you when there's a problem. So when I got that phone call, I was like, ugh, I got really worried. I was like, what? How could anything be wrong with me these days? I've been taking such good care of myself. And I really thought, because, there's environmental pollutants everywhere that can really harm you. So I was like, okay, what did I miss? What did I miss? But in the end, the doctor wasn't calling me because there was anything wrong. They were calling me because they said they'd never seen blood work like mine before. They're like, this is like straight up nuts. Like, this is crazy. In all the years I've been doing this. And I'm like, okay. So that's what you're calling me about just to tell me that? They're like, well, no, I want to know what you're doing. They want to know what I'm doing. What do you guys think? I want to know your opinion. Do you think I should put this part of the celery in there? Because the celery ends right around here. See? But this thing is like hard. It's like, I don't know what to call it, but like this hard part of the celery. And I don't really know. I assume it's edible, but there's certain parts of the food that I don't know. I really don't know on this one. If anybody there knows, comment below. I mean, I'll just throw it in the smoothie. I might just throw it. I don't like to waste food, but if it's kind of like I'm trying to think of a good example. It's kind of like watermelon. Normally, you don't want to eat the skin. Though I have a friend who figured out a really good way to eat the skin of watermelon. But I don't know if you can eat that part of the because it almost feels like broccoli. And if that's the case, do I need to steam it? Because I don't want to eat it raw. Well, I guess you can eat broccoli raw. Let's see. Don't put it in. It's woody. Huh? Don't put it in. It's woody. Usually, I eat or juice the lower stalk. So this is edible. Wait, am I getting one person saying no? I'm saying one person. Would you call it the heart? This part? I don't know. Well, let me know. I'll keep it here, and maybe I'll throw it in. I mean, I'm open to throwing it in here if there's room, of course. Okay, one of the other things I'm going to put in this smoothie, because this one I just assume food is deficient in minerals, and so I'm adding minerals because it works with the fiber. And I actually I'd already been doing that, but then I found a study that they were doing that. And it was kind of wild because it actually, not only did it work, it did some things that the people doing the research study were not expecting. And what it ultimately did, let's see here, how much celery do I want to put in here? Okay. The people started rebuilding bone of all things. And they were like, wait a second, you telling me you can rebuild bone? It was pretty cool. And I thought, oh, I guess I was already doing the right thing. See, I feel like the answers are, I don't know. I don't know if it's just me. I don't know if it's the hydrogen. I don't know if it's me cleaning up my blood to my brain can think straight. I don't know what it is, but feel like health to me has been getting just like, I feel like the answers are so easy. And I see all these people out there charging lots of money, and all these doctors who are like, charge, charge your money to be part of our little group, and we'll teach you how to be healthy. And all these people making videos. And by the way, everybody has a difference of opinion, right? Everybody's like, no, you should only eat this way. No, you should only eat that way. And I feel like, seriously, like, I feel like the answers are like so simple and so easy that I'm surprised everybody's arguing about them. Funny thing, none of them talk about water. That's the craziest part. I'm like, how can you not talk about water when you're trying to get as healthy as possible? And all this food, you're going to notice another pattern. All this food has water content. The celery, the beets, the soaked raisins with hydrogen water. And that's a pattern on purpose. You want fiber, you want water, you want minerals. Like, they all work together. That's the way it works. It works beautifully. It's simple. And I'm still debating whether I should throw this guy in there. Let's see. What if anybody knew what it was? It's very fibrous. This thing? Okay, well, I tell you what, I'm going to throw it in. You know why? It sounds like it's edible, and I've never done it before. So let's just see what happens. Let's put this guy in here. Oh yeah, this thing's hard. Harder. All right, well, we'll try that, see if that changes the flavor today. Okay, next one. We're almost done here. We're going to go with the carrots. Carrots. We're like peas and carrots. That was Jenny and I like peas and carrots. Yep. I don't know if you guys ever saw that movie. Like I said, nutritional deficiencies, guys. Back in nutritional deficiencies. I hear too many people always saying, I need more protein. I need more fats. I need more. Like, people talk about this, and and doctors, a lot of them, on TV or the internet or whatever. And why have I not heard almost anybody say, wow, what you actually need is to make sure that you're not deficient in any nutrient or mineral? Why don't I hear them say that? It's like, we got clear evidence of it. I think people think it's impossible, by the way, because I don't know if you're aware that almost every single American is deficient in something. And that's nuts, guys. Almost everybody's running around deficient. To me, that's kind of bonkers. Though I believe it, because it's actually difficult. It is difficult to get all your nutrients, especially in the state of our food, right? That's probably one of the bigger issues. If this food was grown right and it was so full of the proper nutrients, probably just be like totally bonkers, right? So if that's the case, you got to like do something extreme like what I'm having to do here with these smoothies. I have to put in those special powders, and I put fruits and vegetables. But the powder is, all these things combined, well, they've really worked well. Much better than I could have ever imagined. And it's for free, guys. You guys get to all the work, all the years, all the time that have figured out how to do this. And if you can just take a little time in the morning, if I don't turn on the camera and everything and I just get straight to it, I time myself. I can get this thing done in 20 minutes. And if it's two people, like if somebody were to help you, shoot, you could probably get it done in 10 minutes or less. Somebody washing and cutting while the other person's doing whatever. I've had somebody help me, I don't know, very few times, but like just a few times, and it's so much faster. And then boom, you get your smoothie in the morning. Feels good. It actually hydrates you. Feels very hydrating. Like somebody was saying, you absorb it. It just feels really good. And the body, man, the body loves it. The body transforms. I mean, my body has definitely been doing things that I'm just very happy with the way that it's functioning, considering what I've been through and how it wasn't functioning properly for such a long time. Okay, you know what? That's going to be enough carrots for today, because I think normally I would probably try to put in more. But I'm thinking about trying to throw an extra banana in there, just because I got bananas that are going bad. I got so many bananas. But yeah, let's do that. I'm going to just do that today just because. And you know what? It makes it taste delicious. I don't mind the taste of bananas. I mean, I'd like to put like, I don't know. I'd like to put an apple in there, but there's a lot of things I'd like to put in there that I'm not putting in there. But mostly my goal is to try to put more vegetables and fruit. Vegetables. That's what I'm really trying to, wow, look at the size of this thing. I don't know if you can tell from the camera. Maybe it's a different angle. But I don't know how I'm going to fit this thing in here. Look at this. Oh my goodness. Yep, see? There is no space, which is not good because I still have one more thing I want to put in here. I'm just going to have to shove it in there, I guess. Here we go. Let's just make a mess. Here we go. Hydrogen chia seeds, because they have lots of great minerals, lots of great protein, lots and lots and lots of fiber. So here we go. Look at this. This is a fiber. I am a fiber machine. And this thing, look at this thing. Look at this smoothie. Now you telling me there's no fiber in this? Or is this going to give me a good amount of fiber? I think it's borderline ridiculous. Isn't it? It's like, look, man, you want a cup of fiber? And I don't mean like fiber. Oh, what happened? My hydrogen machine just turned off. Good thing it was full of hydrogen. I got to put a tiny bit of water in it. That's how it functions, the hydrogen machine. Oh, yeah, it's asking for water. There we go, my friend. Let's give you a little bit of water. And let's put a little bit more hydrogen water in this sucker. And let's just let it soak a little bit. It already soaked most of it. This thing is going to be so full. Okay, let's hope that this thing actually blends. Do you guys think this is actually going to blend for the few people who are in the room? It says, let's see here. Very fibrous. Okay, Mantic says, what type of blender do you use or recommend? I use two different kinds. One is from a website called voidsystem.com. I actually really like theirs. I would have used it today, except there's reasons why I didn't. But that's a vacuum blender. It's this one right here. This is the best. You can find it at void-system.com. And with a discount code uprising144K, you get everything for like $379. But this vacuum blender is the bombity bomb. I love this thing. The only problem is that it's a little small and it takes a little longer. And today, like I said, I'm a little bit in a rush. But I made a whole video. I'm going to be releasing it soon, so you guys can see a good review of it. This is just a live video today. And then I use the Vitamix. So those are the two blenders that I like. Okay, let's see if this thing will actually blend it. What do you think? Do you think it's just going to make a mess and burn up my motor? Wow. Well, that didn't blend. Well, what do you think, guys? Did I fail? Is this thing going to work? Let's find out. Let's try again. Wow. I'm not sure how I like that. Okay, let's grab some jars. Start getting ready for today's smoothie. You guys see the top fly off? That's what this Vitamix has been doing lately, which is not good because I've had it make a mess. Whoops. Okay, let's try this again. This thing is loaded up, isn't it? I love this blender. I think I need to make a new blender for someone like me that's got like 10 horsepower. All right. Okay, I'm going to let that settle for just 1 second. I want to take out this compost. Because, I don't know, the blender sounds like it's having a hard time with it today. Oh, you know what? It's probably that big stock I put in there. That's what I was thinking. Why isn't this thing? Normally it blends right through these things. But that thing's a little extra fibrous, a little harder. So we'll give that blender a second to to rest. But it's going to handle it. I think it's going to handle it just fine. The top tried to pop off. Pop top. Okay, let's see here. Let's try again, shall we? Oh, there we go. It's fine. All right. So let's see. If I let go, will it be okay? All right. Let that do its thing. I'm nervous walking away from it. I don't want. I've had that top fly off, and then boy, smoothie gets everywhere. Oh, and it's doing it again. See, sneaky little thing. Why are you trying to pop off? You know, it never used to do that. It's just been doing that recently. All right, let's try this again. I actually think it's done. So, okay, what I'm gonna do while we're waiting, I'm gonna maybe blend it just a tiny bit again. I'm gonna make my hydrogen raisins for tomorrow. Sun-dried organic raisins. And again, I'm not a fan. I mean, I like dried food, but I'm not a fan of it because it goes into your GI system and literally starts pulling water out of you, where your GI system actually requires a massive amount of water to function properly. So why would I want to bring in something that sucks the water out of me? So that's why I soak these foods, and it really worked wonderfully. So I like to soak them in water the day before the smoothie, which is why before I forget, because I got a very big jam-packed work day today, and I know I'm going to forget if I don't do it. So let's put some little hydrogen water. Maybe I need to refill it too. Let's see here. Okay, hydrogen raisins. I'll put hydrogen water in there, and I'll show you guys if you want. I'm sure you guys know how to do it. I've done it before on camera. But if you guys really want to see, all I do is put them in little jars, fill them with water, put a top on them, and bam, that's it. There we go, and just put them in the refrigerator where when it's colder, the hydrogen even stays even longer. I think gives it even more time to soak into the food and create super food, super duper food. All right, let's try it. Health is the greatest wealth, right? Is that what they say? I'll tell you one thing, I do think health is the greatest wealth. All right, what we're going to do now is we're going to add my two last favorite ingredients here to make sure that this is the most nutritional smoothie. You know what? I'm going to go as far as saying, you guys correct me if I'm wrong. I'm going to go as far as saying, and this is not to toot my own horn, this is just because, well, because I think it might be actually true. I think this might be the most healthiest smoothie in the world. I don't know if there's anything out there that holds a candle to this smoothie I made. This is crazy. I do not know. Oh yeah, I can feel it. I can feel it stopping. Probably stopping that broccoli food so. Yep. I can feel it chopping that thing up, but you'd think that it'd be done by now. So let's just try, see what happens. If it's not blended, we'll put it back in there. Let's see if I can take this thing out without it blowing up here. All right, here we go. But I really do think this might actually be the world's. I mean, you know, this is practically what I live off of. You know, I mean, I eat normal meals, but this is what I live off for every breakfast. Breakfast every single day. This is it. But I always have to have the hydrogen super clean water first. I'll tell you one thing. My body is so used to being hydrated. And you know what's funny? There's a study in Japan. This was crazy. Depending on the amount of water you consume, your body begins to literally change the way that it uses water. So first is ionic D3. You are not with K2. You're not going to get enough vitamin D, guys, from your food. Sorry, just not going to happen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So most of the foods with vitamin D in them are just unfortunately highly polluted these days. And then this one was a gift. It's almost gone. Chlorophyll. I've been using ionic chlorophyll. Comes from your greens anyway, so we'll just put some in there, and it's been wonderful. I've been enjoying it. Will I buy it? No, because I'm a minimalist. I try to buy the least amount of supplements and stuff. I like you noticed, it's mostly all about food, so that's why it's a smoothie and the powder, which is basically made of food. Food is my goal here to use. Seems to be the best anyway. Tastes good. I got to say though, the vacuum blender tastes better, but this is still good. Still tastes fantastic. Now, because I want to keep this fresh, let's hope one of these lids works. I've been having trouble with these lids lately. I'm going to vacuum seal one of these smoothies. Why? Well, because I want to keep it fresh and I want to keep everything really, really alive in there. Don't want it to oxidize. Now this one, which is the one I'm going to drink myself right now, I'm only going to add 2 more ingredients to really top off this magical, magical smoothie. I really do think it's magical. Can you believe I got flagged for using the word magical? Can you guys believe that? I had to talk to YouTube and reach out and all this stuff. I was like, are you guys freaking kidding me? I think they thought I was talking about drugs or something. And I'm like, guys, I'm just saying that this is magical. That's all. They're like, well, yes. But anyway, it was hilarious. I'm like, you guys are nuts. I can't believe they're going. I mean, they literally they're policing people on YouTube. It's like, just let people be what people, just let people be. How's that? How'd that be? How about that for a shocker? Just let humans be humans. I know there's things that people say that are probably not the best things for people to say, but, as long as it's not like crazy, crazy hate speech or something crazy, beyond that, let us be free, shall we? If people want to show their ignorance and their hatred, I guess that's on them. But we're doing videos on trying to show people how to be healthier. Or at least some of the things that helped me change my life for free. So look at that. I have been told by a lot of people I should charge for all this stuff. And they're like, oh, you could open up a website and you can show people how to make your smoothies and you can show your hydrogen protocols, how to clean water. Excuse me. But I was like, I honestly, there's other things I want to do with my life. And if I didn't have anything else going on in my life, then I'd be like, you know what? I guess I could be one of those health coaches. But instead, I just do it myself. And if people want to basically watch for free, then they can. Okay, hemp hearts. Extremely amazing, guys. If you can see the nutritional content on this, it is unbelievable. And it's just one ingredient. Hemp hearts are just, and of course, they're like one of the most well-balanced proteins in the world. People never talk about, they just say protein, protein. They don't realize that it's got to be a well-balanced protein, at least in my personal opinion. Okay, so my last ingredient was that, and the very last ingredient is obviously the hydrogen. And now I can take out my earpiece and maybe answer some of your questions. If not, then I will be headed to work very soon. Let's see here. I think I can taste that celery. Good. Okay. Let's see. A lot of comments here. Let's see where you're at. Okay, Jan says, I agree. I take a lot of supplements. Also, I'm just not trusting the food industry either. Well, of course. But it's better. You just have to make the best choices you can. Simple foods over processed foods. Okay, Mantic says, it's like a chia natto fermented chia seeds. It's something. Terry says, LOL, massive smoothie. Yeah. It is. Mantic says, LOL, Terry, that's a day's worth of food. Well, see, that's the whole point. All this, easy to digest. My body's already loaded up and hydrated with hydrogen. Then I do all this superfood with fiber and everything, minerals, nutrients. And Mantic says, yes, it will blend. I know, I was barely doing it, wasn't it? And Terry says, more good stuff in there than most people eat in a week. And I do it every day. Mantic says, seriously, the natto is the secret ingredient. It is definitely one of them. And Terry says, told you, LOL, it's like wood. Oh yeah, it is moving. Fiber and water keeps things moving too. And you want everything moving, guys. Get all that crap out of you. Terry says, it's gonna blow. I know. Dramer or Dramor says, I just made my smoothie too. Unfortunately, I forgot the ginger. You don't have to have ginger. I probably wouldn't use ginger normally because it's so expensive, but I found a place where I get this giant box of organic ginger for like $8. So I'm like, oh, I'll put it in there. And ginger's anti-parasitic, anti-cancerous. I like the spiciness. Then Dramor says, vitamin D is a hormone, I've heard. Yeah, it is. Did you say you wouldn't buy ionic? No, I said ionic would be the best form to get. Then how would you get your vitamin D besides the sun? That ionic vitamin D that I use with K2, to me that's the best you're going to be able to get, really. And I believe that vitamin D works with the hydrogen because the sun is made of hydrogen. That's how we produce vitamin D. And that was one of the things the doctor wanted to know because they're seeing my blood and they're like, how are you achieving this? Like they've been trying so hard with their patients and they said they haven't been able to get anybody like that. That's why the doctor called. They're like, we want to know what you're doing. Mantic says, I believe he said it is ionic D3 with K2. That is correct. And that's what it is. I can go grab it if you want. The power powder they don't send to Sweden. Oh, that's too bad. That's one of the tricky things is everything that I look for, I source in the US. I know when I go to Japan, it's gonna be a whole other thing because there's a lot of stuff that I can't get over there that I get here. And I know I can figure it out, but it takes time to like really figure out where to get everything that you need. I gotta say, this tastes really good. And it's very satisfying. And I like, the Purium company, they seem to be on the same boat as me. Everything's about purity and premium quality, and that's why apparently they call themselves Purium. Oh wow, thanks for the thumbs up, guys. We have 11 people in the room. We probably need a few more. Show me you care. I'm just kidding. It is free though. I wonder, that would be an interesting business. You would vacuum blend the smoothie, vacuum seal them, and you could take them like the milkman and deliver them to people's homes, but I don't think it'd be cheap to do that. Oh, there you go. Thanks, guys. People giving thumbs up. Yeah, I would assume that I would just assume that only rich people would probably do it, or people who really care about their health. But you can make them yourselves. I mean, come on. It doesn't take that much time. Okay. Let's see. Drumore says, do you still put beets? Yeah, you didn't see it? Purity, your smoothie is not burgundy in color. Yeah, I do put beets. I love beets. They're crunchy, they're sweet, they're good for your liver. They get the body to produce nitric oxide, not nitrous oxide, nitric oxide, which really opens up the blood vessels, more oxygenation, but then combined with the hydrogen, which opens up ghost vessels and gets the blood to move like crazy. Guys, it is such a perfect combination. And then while I inhale this, oh my gosh. Perfect. I'm happy. I'm happy. Okay, I liked, thanks for the reminder. Oh, thanks for liking. Everyone liked the video. Well, we have 11 people in. Are you aware of HH2? HH2? More of H2. Are you talking about helium? Are you talking about HHO? Or, wow, everybody gave a thumbs up all of a sudden. Thanks. Does any of your machines produce it? Are you talking about deuterium? What are you talking about, Felix? Go ahead and share. But the device that I use, so the equipment that I use is specific. There's a lot of medical research, and it's already medically approved in Japan. That exact type of hydrogen is what I'm using, which is H2, which is molecular hydrogen. There's a lot of people, I've seen it from a vid, it creates water fuel. Oh, you're talking about HHO probably, Brown's gas. Yeah, that's not something, there's zero medical data on that one. I think it's great for energy. E. Jason Gremley says, I care, bro. I'm glad, you know what? I'm glad you do. I like when people care personally. This is so delicious. I'm glad I put 2 bananas in. I'm gonna go grab a little more. Be right back. Got a lot of extra smoothie. Now I can actually share it. You know what? Now you're saying it's H2H plus or something. So clearly, no offense, but it doesn't sound like you know what you're talking about. You keep changing it up. So maybe, maybe once you figure it out. But I do know about the water that can power cars, trains, whatever. And that's great, but I'm focusing more on my body and my health. And for my body, clearly all the evidence points to molecular hydrogen, so that's why I use it. But it's cool. Let's see. E. Jason says, it only takes a few dedicated people to shift consciousness. So quality is here. Awesome, brother. I agree. Dreamer says, should I buy bottled distilled water in a large water cooler jugs until I get a distiller? Either that or whatever water filter you have. But yeah, you can buy it. It just gets real expensive when you buy it. I mean, if you saw how much water I go through, I can't imagine buying the amount of water that I go through every single day. I'd be carrying jugs every day. It'd be a pain in the rear. But if you want to do that, it just sounds highly inconvenient. Felix says, no, really, it's H2H plus or something like that. Okay, I believe you, dude. Dramer says, large cooler jugs have higher grade plastic. Okay, cool. Felix says, it's not my claim, check the vid. Yeah, I believe you. I believe you, man. I'm not saying I didn't believe you. I just don't think that you actually know. It's hard to ask me a question, be like, hey, do you know about that one thing, about that, that thing? That one thing. It's like, no, I don't know. You got to be a little more specific. Gina says, good morning. Well, good morning, Gina. And Agneta says, have you heard of Culture Elevate? They have products like pearl powder, dragon's blood. I don't know. That just sounds, I'm not into consuming blood. Sorry. Ugh. No, I haven't heard of them. Dramor says, yeah, you're right. I'll just bite the bullet and buy a distiller. Yeah, I don't know what you're waiting for. No point in sinking money into water bottles. I gotta tell you, it's even inconvenient when you're making it yourself, and that's more convenient than buying it. Well, here, you can see mine right now, look. It's milking away. They're just making me clean water. I appreciate you, machine. I'm gonna have to give it a name. All right, guys, anybody have any ideas for a name for my distiller? My carbon distiller? What can I call it? Puri. Hey, Puri. Go make me some water. Oh, there it goes. See, it's dripping now. Oh, it stopped. It takes, we're talking 3 to 6 hours to make 1 gallon of the cleanest water. Gina says, I have some questions. How long does it take to make hydrogen water? Well, it depends on many aspects. With the machine that I have for 1.5 liters, it takes half an hour. Half a liter takes 10 minutes. But this is the best way to do it. There's other ways that are faster, but they're not as good. So it just depends. Those Kangen machines has many uses aside health, doesn't it? It does, but I don't use Kangen machines. They're, in my personal opinion, they're actually not good for you. I saw long-term research. Short-term research look good. Long-term research doesn't look good. And I'm into long-term because I'm going to be doing this as a lifestyle. I did a whole video about it, Felix. You can check it out if you want. Because I know exactly what that machine does. And I know, basically, you don't want to ionize and make water alkaline through ionization because it disrupts your stomach acids. Your stomach acids go down as you age. The last thing you want to do is make it worse. And that is what it appears. I'm not making any claims, but that's what it appears that the Kangen stuff does. And that's why I stay away from it. Plus, it's way overpriced. It doesn't offer hydrogen gas inhalation. It doesn't make pH neutral hydrogen water, which is what hydrogen really is. Anyway, it's not what I would go with personally. And I have 1 minute and I don't use it. Gina says, can I put distilled water with trace minerals drops in it? Well, that's what I do, Gina. I put 1 drop of minerals when I'm making this whole gallon, but most of my minerals go in my smoothie because I absorb it way better. Dramor says, Perry the water purifier. Perry. Hey, Perry. Perry, what's the name of my distiller? We're going to call you Driplet. He's always drippling. Gina says, what is standby mode? Is the water still being prepped with hydrogen? Okay, so Gina. The machine you have. Oh, okay. So when you have 1.5 liters in the pitcher, okay, it takes half an hour for it to fully saturate with hydrogen, completely saturated. You can't put any higher amount of hydrogen in half an hour. But after half an hour, the machine goes into standby because if it just shuts off, the hydrogen's escaping. And by the time you drink it, it's probably not gonna be full of hydrogen. If it's on standby mode, it maintains the full saturation. So as the hydrogen's escaping, the machine trickles in little by little. That's why it pulsates and just maintains full hydrogen. So you can pick up the pitcher and drink the water whenever. And if you put the pitcher back on there, it maintains the full saturation of hydrogen. That's what standby mode is. Okay. Agneta says, dragon's blood is from a tree resin, healing powder. Yeah, I've heard of it. I mean, I've been able to achieve everything I've been able to achieve without all that stuff. That's what I mean. There's always going to be some supplement or something that somebody tells you is good. And maybe it is good, but I haven't needed it. Gina says, okay, thank you, great. Agneta says, I have got my, I don't know what that means, okay. I have got my. And Felix says, does your water cures candida? Well, first of all, I'm never going to use the word cure. But I'll just say that I personally have known many people with candida issues, including myself, and it's all gone. So it's absolutely amazing. And there is scientific data to support it on top of it. Really good. Agneta says, my water distiller now in Sweden. Help from you to choose. Great, you have your own distiller now. Woohoo. Dramore says, I put 20 milliliters in my hydrogen machine before it asks for 50 milliliters. Oh, yeah, that's tricky though, yeah. For example, before I go to bed, if I know it's going to turn off in the middle of the night, I'll put 20 mLs. Yeah, sometimes I'll do that. Just put a little splash in there to keep the machine going. Well, I gotta say, this really turned out good today. I don't know, it tastes so good. I could drink a whole other one, but I gotta leave pretty soon. Yeah, good morning. You guys ever see that movie? Good Morning Vietnam. I really like Robin Williams. He's hilarious. Okay. Gina says, you keep your machine on all night? I don't. I used to and realized that I don't have to do that. I just fill up the pitcher, leave the machine off. First thing in the morning, I'll get up, push the button, and either go back to bed or get up and start brushing my teeth and stretching and do my morning stuff. Let's all share this video. Social media and friends and family, spread the word. Let's make people healthy. I'd love to see that. People would be so much better off, healthier and more mentally clear and basically happier. This is so delicious. I want more. I don't know if I should have more, but I want more. Have you ever considered making a DI water bubbler machine? DI water bubbler? No, because the equipment that I've researched, it's so much cheaper and better to just buy the equipment that specialists made. You can't do that with a hydrogen machine. I mean, the specialists that it took to make this hydrogen machine, we wouldn't even be able to come close. You know. Okay. I need to scrape this thing, but I still want more smoothie. Stuff tastes so good. Cock-a-doodle-doo. Yes, Gina, you can put your machine on standby mode so it's on all night, but not continuously running. Yeah. I think I'm gonna... Okay, I guess I won't drink this whole smoothie. It's super delicious though. Really digging it. Why am I craving this so much today? I must have outdone myself today because this thing tastes so good today. Cook-a-doodle-doo. Cook-a-doodle-doo. Cock-a-doodle-doo. Okay. Let's, Felix, like a water carbonator to make bubbly water. I don't get it. What is a water bubbler machine anyway? Can you feel the difference when you don't have chia seeds? It's not a huge deal, Agnita. You know, you don't have to. The thing, look, I always try to tell people this, and I feel like somehow they don't get it. You do not have to use all the ingredients I use. I simply find what I can find in my area locally. I try to primarily focus on vegetables. And of course, the nuts and seeds are great, and some fruit. I just do the best I can, that's all. You guys don't have to try to buy every ingredient I use, you know? And so, could I do this without the chia seeds? I totally could do it without the chia seeds. Chia seeds are kind of creamy though, so I kind of like them. And like I said, they have a lot of interesting nutrients, crazy amount of fiber. I remember learning about them years ago, and they're kind of expensive typically. And if it's too expensive, I won't do it because I'm not rich. So I have to find something that's affordable that I can do every single day, right? Because I make the smoothie every day. And so the chia seeds, I got lucky and found a place that sells big bags of them for like cheap. They're like, I think they're like $9, and it lasts forever. Oh, you have no idea how many chia seeds I can make with my hydrogen water with one bag of those chia seeds. Now, if I go to a different store, they'll literally have like this tiny little bag and it's like $15. And I'm like, what? It's crazy. So once I saw that, I started buying those big giant bags and, you know, just have access to them. Okay, let's see what we're gonna do here. In fact, if you guys want, let me see if I'll turn the camera around. I don't know if you guys will be able to see this or not. Let's see here. It's not just a splash of water, just to clean this thing up. Probably should put it on the blender without the top. I'm just trying to clean this up. Let's see here. That should be good enough. Okay, then we're going to go ahead and seal this thing. Let's see here. Okay, where are my lids? Gotta go get the lid. There's a lunch. Certain type of light. Never shine Okay. Oh, there we go. That was quick. All right, I'm gonna have to go soon, guys. Let's see here. I missed chia several days. It didn't taste. I don't know what that means if it didn't taste. I drink coffee when I'm inhaling the hydrogen, LOL. Actually, that's a pretty good thing to do too. And I always rinse my mouth with hydrogen after coffee. Do you know about Bob Boy's water smacker? It's based on, yeah, I do, and I think I'm not a believer in it. I'll just tell you that much. Yeah, too many weird things out there like that aren't real. I want my home to be. Okay. See, I know I gotta go soon. Yeah, but I'm not a believer in the water smacker at all. I would not, yeah, save your money. Okay, my dad enjoyed his smoothie this morning. He says, hi, Greg. Hey there. Thank you, Dramer, says Gina. Plan says, you're awesome. Really appreciate all your great information about molecular hydrogen. Oh, you're very welcome. Thanks for the kind words. Gina M, you're welcome, says Dramer. Gina says, so you answered all my questions for now. Thank you, Greg. So need to call, oh, so no need to call me now. Call me now. Just saw your email today. And then Plan says, Greg, check out the double-blind placebo study on analemma. Analemma, okie dokie. One-time purchase and very compelling research. Okay. Without chia, it didn't taste so good. Oh, really? I felt, will I continue with this every day of my life? I don't know. What time is it? How much time do I have? Okay, yep. I don't have as much time as I'd like, so I guess I won't be able to do that. Okay, guys, well, that's it. Thanks for all hanging out. You guys have been wonderful. And it's time to say goodbye. Okay. All right, guys, you take care. And Agneta, if chia makes a difference for you, go for it, girl. Get some chia in your smoothie. Soak them in hydrogen water or just clean water, whatever you have access to. And make sure to keep your hydrogen machines clean and maintained, guys. I can never emphasize that enough. Bye, Greg. Have a good one, says Gina. See you later, Gina. Bye, everyone. Have a nice day, says Dre Moore. Bye, guys. Thanks for all the thumbs up.